How have you been enjoying yourself here at MCM Comic Con London?
I've been loving it here because I did one a little earlier in the year, or was it last year? But it was, a friend of mine actually lives up the road, and so for years we've been watching all these extraordinarily costumed people streaming past, thousands and thousands, thinking where they're going. And now I know from the inside that they're coming here, and it's such a massive event. And also, if you're fortunate to be involved in Harry Potter and Star Wars and things, and you see the enthusiasm and the passion and everything that people have for it, and it's a pleasure to see, actually. Mind you, because I'm so old, I don't really know who 93.7% of the people have come dressed as, actually, because I don't understand half the stories they're trying to tell, really.
And obviously on the subject of Star Wars, can you talk a little bit about the challenges that came with that, both technically and as a performer?
I've said this before, and I mean it sincerely, I was and am a great fan of Peter Cushing, who obviously created the role. So to be asked, I was taken by the director under high secrecy, very, very, very seriously secret, I was told, the meeting. Absolutely secret. Nobody must know, it's secret. And then he took me to one of the most popular media places in London, and so we had to talk very quietly about it. And they decided, I didn't audition for it or anything, and they decided that there was enough of a similarity in some of my work for them to take the risk of, the punt of having me doing Tarkin. And we sort of did make it up as we went along, really. I started actually wearing heavy makeup and grey hair, grey slicked back and all that, and then they decided to do none of that, just to have dots all over the face, and so, and in a sense it's digital makeup. So technically it's sort of a further remove, if you like, from normal acting, because Peter Cushing was Peter Cushing pretending to be Governor Tarkin, wearing his carpet slippers, but I'm doing it because I'm me pretending to be Peter Cushing, pretending to be, so it's a further remove, and very, very hard to forget that you're acting when you've got this huge sort of head camera thing on with the lenses poking in your eyes, and very awkward when you're meeting people at lunchtime and you turn to say hello to somebody and smack them with your head cam at the same time as turning. But it was, I have to say, really daunting, because, as I said, I admired Peter Cushing very much, and I didn't want to let him down, and I didn't want to let the Star Wars family down either, because people care about it a lot. And what a character to play. Amazing.
Would you like to return for another Star Wars spin-off as Peter Cushing, as Grand Moff Tarkin?
Yes, if they'd have me, yeah, I would. I mean, now that I was so relieved that it wasn't, I'm sure there has been criticism, and I'm sure there are people who don't like what we did or what I did, but thankfully I haven't heard too many of those, and I was deeply relieved that it wasn't a disaster, because it's quite a punt, isn't it? I mean, it could have been disastrous, and I know perhaps some don't like it, but never mind them. I think it's given a lot of people the reveal of Tarkin. Somebody was just chatting to me out in the hall there, and saying, I couldn't believe it, and then you turned round and there it was. So it's a brave thing to do, and a tribute to the original actor, and I think it wasn't, as it were, done lightheartedly as a joke or as a sort of just a gimmick. He's in the film because it's a direct prequel to A New Hope, and he sort of had to be there, so they had a go. Brilliant. But I'd also quite like to work for that director, who's very nice. He said to me not long ago that he was writing a film, and I thought, well, I hope he writes something with my face, if that's possible, because then I don't have to wear that head cam.
How is it like for you as an actor to sort of like, pretend that it's like all real? How's it like for you as an actor?
Well, a lot of it is real. When we were all staring out into space and staring at the blowing up of the planet and all that was actually, and certainly an early impression of that was shown to us. And it was amazing. You're just standing there and this huge screen in front of you, and there goes annihilation of a world. It was amazing. So in fact, and because I thought it would be a lot of green screen or blue screen, and actually, no, the sets are there. Ben Mendelsohn's there, shouting, fantastic. You know, it's not. I didn't, because when I first did Harry Potter, there's me, and Bill Nighy, and a chair, and a floor. Real floor, but all around was this rather sickly, bilious green stuff, and of course they then project all the set and everything onto that. And I expected Star Wars to be like that, but there really wasn't any of that. The sets are real. It's rather good.
What would you say is the difference between your version of the character and the original version?
Well, he's better. Obviously, he's got a more beautiful voice. I tried so hard to get the voice really, really accurate, but I'm not an impressionist. I said to them, if you want to get the famous impressionists like Rory Bremner to do the voice, but I won't be offended, it's me under there, I don't mind, because I didn't want to let it down. But then people I tried to sound like, sorry?
I did that with Darth Vader.
Did they what?
They did that voice in with Darth
Yes, they did, yeah, they got somebody else in the end. Darth Vader has been, excuse me, Darth Vader has been quite a few people in that wonderful costume. But yeah, I tried to get the voice right, but I keep getting texts from people saying, oh, as soon as you opened Peter Cushing's mouth, I knew it was you. And I thought, oh, maybe the impression's not quite good. But it's an essence. I tried to get the feeling of the man and play him as best I can. You know, that's all you can do, really.
So you're a big name in theatre as well as TV and film. Is there any preference that you have?
My old hero, Peter O'Toole, always used to say, whatever I'm not doing at the time, I like best. We're never happy unless we're grumbling. But I've grown to love being in front of the camera, because it's nice to have somebody else, a beautiful face like Peter Cushing's, put on your own, actually, because I don't like my eyebrows, I don't like my teeth, I don't like being so tall. So, when they come and when I was doing Harry Potter, that scene, great big scene along the table, loads of famous people, it took days and days to film it, and I'd been saying my 2 lines for days, and then finally they got around to a shot on me, and they suddenly introduced this great long sweeping crane camera that came along the table and ended up about that close to my face, and I completely forgot my lines because I was so, you know. So it gets very intrusive, a camera, like, you know, being very close to you. And then if you add the head cam with all the lights and all that on it, it's very hard to pretend that you're not acting. But I do love the theatre, and I would love to go back and do a play next year, actually. I have high hopes I might do that next year.
Anything you think you're looking forward to?
I can't really say at the moment because I'm being all superstitious and silly. I would love to do a play, though. Yeah, I've got one in mind.
Talking about grumbling, obviously, Grand Moff Tarkin had to put up with quite a bit of that from Ben Mendelsohn's character. Can you talk a little bit about working with Ben?
Well, I think you know the phrase method actor, I don't know if he'd call himself that, actually, but he is in the moment, he's in character, he's sparking off you, whilst at the same time managing to be a sweetheart. He's really supportive and kind to me, and he said, you've got a really difficult job, mate, you know, I mean, and we'd go outside for a cigarette or something, and in the days when I smoked, and he was incredibly kind, but then suddenly in character, he'd sort of scream across the set at you as Tarkin. Oh God! No, he was a great person to work opposite, and I was very grateful to him. He was great, and I was called in for one of the many reshoots, and he came in especially to do a line off camera to support me, which I thought was very decent.
You mentioned briefly about the ethics of bringing a deceased actor back to life. Do you have any concerns for the future with where that could go?
I think if it's done, as I said, for what you might call the right reasons, it's a credible reason to have that actor. Then, I think they did ask Peter Cushing's descendants, family, and they were okay about it, I believe. I think it is a dodgy one. I mean, personally, as an actor, there is scarce enough work to go around. You don't really want to have to be imitating all the people who should be. No, that's the wrong way around. But I suppose it does give you work. But I don't think they will do it very much, actually, because it's very, very, very difficult. It's very painstaking, very expensive. You know, I mean, there's a little team of brilliant people in LA, I think, San Francisco is it, who spent months and months looking at all the footage of Tarkin and making every single movement, every single nuance, such as there was, you know, in not me. And that's a hell of a job, so I can't imagine it'll be done hook, line and sinker. I shouldn't think so.
Well, there's talk of you can, you know, have me star in films after I'm dead.
Yes, I think there has been talk of that, and I think some people saying no, they won't sign. Yeah, I suppose that's fair enough. Yeah, a little part of me thinks, as I'm signing pictures of the recreation of Peter Cushing as Tarkin, and I'm signing Guy Henry, I'm thinking, I hope he wouldn't mind, bless him. Apparently he was a really nice man, so hopefully he'd understand, and hopefully he'd be pleased, because that was my main wish, was that it would be, you know, a credit to him.
So, I'm not sure how well you know the Star Wars universe, but sort of Tarkin's obviously a central figure in it, places in the sort of Empire and even like Republic era. If you got the chance to play Tarkin, is there any like characters you would love to sort of interact with?
You're right, I don't know it well enough. It was never my world really, but it was a thrill to play a scene with Darth Vader. I mean, you know, it's I think they cut it, didn't they cut it out of the... I don't think Tarkin ever appears with Darth Vader, I don't think. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. But that... What?
What happened in that scene? Yeah.
I can't remember. There were so many different reshoots, so many different scenes. I can't really remember what happened in that one, except that because I'm very tall, and so is the guy playing Darth Vader, Spencer. He's very tall, but not that much taller than me. So there I am in this multi-billion, million, trillion-pound film, standing with my knees bent in my socks, trying to make myself look less impressively tall than Darth Vader. So maybe that's why they cut it, because I was wobbling around with my knees bent. I don't know. But I thought, oh God, I've arrived. I'm in a scene with Darth Vader. Fantastic. And then they cut it.
And on that bombshell, I think we have to let you get back to fans today, but thank you so much, Guy.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.